Hey, what's up? Hello, my name is Carl Batumbakal, and this is Nico Rocha, and welcome to another episode of the Philo Step. So, for today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that happened just a few hours ago. So, as you may know, the Denver Nuggets have fired both head coach Michael Malone, not Mike Malone, he prefers Michael, and the
Michael.
GM Calvin Booth. So, Nico, it was a surprising move. Let's start with that. Because Michael Malone, sorry, I called him Mike. They just won a chip barely 2 years ago. He's the winningest coach in franchise history since 2015, and they're currently at 47 and 32, and it's
hmm
almost the playoffs. So, Nico, what are your thoughts about this move?
Well, for me, it's really one of the worst timing considering that we are just 2 to 3 games away from the playoffs. Most of the teams already have played 78, 79 games. And let's not forget the fact that the West right now battles for at least seed 3 to 8. 3 to 8 could change any moment. One loss tomorrow could drop you from the third, fourth spot to the eighth. Because there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 teams right now that have a similar record. Those 5 teams also have 3 games left. So what we could talk about today could definitely change by the end of tomorrow with how the placement of what the Nuggets are, my Golden State Warriors. The Nuggets are in a 4 game losing streak right now, Carl. I don't think this is the right move. I don't know what you have searched or what you have researched on what's happening behind the scenes. There's something that you could share in a bit, but if you're a Nuggets fan, why? Well, that doesn't make sense. I mean, there were reports that were saying that uh the players didn't like the preferential treatment to Jokic and Murray. And my question is, why you? why okay, if not Jokic and Murray, why you? What have you done significant? Who's complaining? That's my next question, right? So it's one of the worst moves I have seen late in the season. I've never seen a playoff team who have championship aspirations. I'm assuming that you and I agree that the Nuggets have championship aspirations, right? Whenever you have a Nikola
Yeah,
Jokic
yeah.
on your team, you are not really counted out. You're always there. So that's it for me.
No, dude, they honestly have to. I think, with you just winning the chip 2 years ago, barely 2 years ago at this point, you're supposed to be contending. And you have Jokic in his prime, Jamal Murray being, well, more less than effective than he was before, but he's still Jamal Murray. MPJ still putting up numbers, and Aaron Gordon. But I think the problem here for the Nuggets is there's a rumor, or at least a theory going around, that Calvin Booth, the now former GM, fired Michael Malone because he is blaming Malone for the struggles of the Nuggets based on the roster that they have. Take note, they are 47 and 32.
Yeah.
And they lost KCP, Justin Holiday, and Reggie Jackson over the offseason. So you replace them with who? Zeke Naji, a bunch of. I don't want to disparage them or anything, but none of the bench players that the Nuggets have, except maybe Christian Brown, have the ability to replace the production that KCP, Holiday, and Reggie Jackson have for the Nuggets. Now, is it a stupid idea to fire Michael Malone? Definitely, I agree.
It
It's a
is.
very, very dumb
Just
move.
fire him after the playoffs.
Exactly. They could have done that, but then they decided to go the Memphis Grizzlies route to, mess up their season just because. And both of those teams, of those teams at the very least, have championship aspirations, being the Denver Nuggets. Now, for the Grizzlies, it's a different thing. Allegedly, Taylor Jenkins lost the locker room, and the same goes for Michael Malone. Apparently, that's what they're saying, at least around the sources that I've checked out. Especially there's this one. How would I say it? Like what you pointed out, the preferential treatment, or so-called. There's been talk of players not agreeing with Michael Malone's methods in practice before the games and after the games. And I would like to believe, at the very least, it would have to be MPJ. is just a wild guess or a very, very, how would I
I
say
feel
it?
like
A
I feel like
wild,
it's gonna
wild.
be MPJ, right? It's not gonna be Peyton Watson. Who's gonna be like, ah.
No, because Aaron Gordon wanted to stay here. Like of all the vets, I'm looking at the vets here. It's not going to be Aaron Gordon. It's not going to be well. It could be
Have you
Westbrook, but at
seen
the same
anything?
time,
Have you seen anything from Reddit,
right
from
right
any
now, I haven't
updates?
seen explicitly anything, but there
Okay.
have been pieces going around as early as about 8, 7 months ago.
Mm.
This was coming from Zach Lowe, and apparently he made a piece that Malone and Calvin Booth are not seeing eye to eye, and
Okay, that's what
allegedly
we
they're not
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
talking.
that's what we
We
know.
know that. Now, Chris Broussard just today, his update is apparently the situation has been toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Booth and Malone did not get along or are not talking, so that makes sense with Zach Lowe's piece. And the biggest, I would say, issue with what happened is that Jokic liked Malone, but according to Chris Broussard, some of the players did not. Now, which players do not like Michael Malone? We do not know.
Okay, so that
What we
has
do
not
know
been revealed yet per se. Okay.
exactly, because no one's going to be talking about that. Of course, they're not gonna say, I removed their coach. I had their coach fired." So coach killer allegations are very, very deep in the NBA. So that's a problematic thing to go after. So now the problem is, how do the Nuggets live life or move on from Michael Malone with having David Adelman, the son of Rick Adelman, take over as the interim coach for the rest of the season? I don't know how they perform.
I heard I saw a report that he's the preferred coach, right? That they
Yes.
wanted to replace, but I think he does not want to. So in a way, they're forcing his hand about becoming a coach. Okay, you don't have any choice anymore. You're the head coach. You just
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It,
Was the is this still the same owner that was there when they won a championship? It is, right? It was
it's still the Josh Kroenke, or I'm butchering his name, but it's Josh Kroenke, one of the two,
Cronky,
Kroenke.
Kronk.
I don't know, but he also just released a statement earlier as well, and I cherry picked some of his statements from that statement that he released on firing Michael Malone.
Mm,
So first is the decision was allegedly not made lightly and was evaluated very carefully. That's one. The other would be we do it only with the intention of giving our group the best chance at competing for the 2025 NBA championship. So that's an important point. Third, it is a necessary step to allow us to compete at the highest level right now. So that lines up with the second point. Lastly, we look forward to building on the foundations laid by Coach Malone over his record breaking 10-year career in Denver.
mm-hmm.
None of it makes sense.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense since what do you call this? It's a crucial time it's a very crucial time for regular season teams fighting for a playoff seed. They could still try and get the third seed, which is very realistic. But then again, yeah, would you like to face the Warriors at the third seed? If I'm the Warriors, I want to be the fifth seed because I don't want to I don't want to face the Lakers in the first round. Like, I respect the Lakers so much. So I think they've been
That's a
losing
good
to the
point.
Lakers the past 3 seasons, Carl.
That's a
Whenever they
good
would be
point.
much right.
That's a really good point, dude. Yeah,
Although if
what are
I'm
the
the Warriors, I
seedings?
also don't mind being the number 7 seed because I want to
Against
take
the
my chance
Rockets?
against the Rockets. I mean, they're still new. The playoff atmosphere is different. Being in the playoffs
But
is different.
I think they're gonna get out talented though.
I mean,
With the bench
for me,
depth?
Carl, like experience matters a lot in the playoffs.
That's
This
true.
is the first
That's
year of
true.
This Houston Rockets trio, or not trio, their core. It's their first time in the playoffs, right? They have home court advantage, but you're up against a grizzled team like the Warriors, where I think if you look at Steph Curry's playoff games and you combine everybody's playoff games of the Rockets, I think Steph will still have more playoff games played than the whole of the Houston Rockets. Where's Jeff Green right now? Is he with Houston?
Yeah, he's with Houston. Yeah,
So only Jeff Green could rival the number of. If you remove Jeff
by a
Green,
slim margin. Yes,
if you remove Jeff Green in the Houston Rockets roster, then who else would have played? Fred VanVleet. But
Fred VanVleet
right,
also, but
but
not
it
enough.
not enough. So that's what I mean. So for me, if I'm the Warriors, I don't mind facing the Rockets and the Clippers.
That
That's all
makes
for me. I mean, that's all for me. Like this is again, just wrap it up. The Nuggets. This is your downfall. I don't think they're gonna get past the first round. This is not. This is not. This is not it.
I think this one stems back also to them losing last season to a 7 game series with the Wolves. I think this firing stems from that. Don't you
Hmm.
think? But
I don't know, man.
they got outsized by the Wolves, so that's a completely different discussion. So
In the game seven, Carl, it's just you know what they say about when it's game seven, you just throw all the preparations and everything because at that point, right, it's just a matter of who makes their shots, who doesn't make their shot. And that's what the game seven is. Because by that time, you already know how each team's play. You got that memorized
agreed.
already, even in your
True.
sleep. So I just
True.
felt like the Wolves just wanted it more. I think
True.
that's the most cliche thing to use, but it is what it is when it comes to a game seven.
True. True. And yeah, on that note, we
Yeah.
think the Nuggets are gonna have a bad time
You also, so
this
you
year.
agree, right? You agree that
I
they're
definitely agree, dude. Like, nah, firing Michael Malone right now is the best way to sabotage a team entering the playoffs with supposed title aspirations. It just doesn't make sense. You don't fire a coach who is supposedly giving you wins and gave you a chip right before he gets into the playoffs.
mm,
They could still
mm.
slip to the play in actually. 7-8, they could. Because it's super narrow. And they might even fall in the play in if ever. Jesus. What a miss.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. If I were the owner, again, I don't know everything that's happening behind the scenes, but I would just fire Calvin Booth and just ride with Mike Malone. And whoever's complaining, I'll just trade him away. Because for me, I value Mike Malone so much, Michael Malone so much.
You almost had him coming after you, dude.
Yeah, I hope he watches this podcast.
So yeah, on that note, we're gonna close it out. We do agree that the Nuggets are gonna have a hard time. But for the two of us, we're not gonna have a hard time because it's the playoffs. We're gonna enjoy the chaos that's gonna happen in the next few days. So yeah, on that note, we're signing off. This has been Carbatong Bakal, and this has been my co-host, as always, Nico Rocha. So thank you and have a great day.
Peace, guys.